Hi guys, Relaxed Recaps here. In today's video, we're going to do a recap of the 2021 horror thriller movie, The Whole Truth. We're going to follow two siblings who discovered a mysterious hole in their grandparents' house. As they investigated the situation, dark secrets are revealed about their family. Now just sit back, relax, and enjoy. The scene opens by introducing us to a family. The family has a boy, Put, his sister Pim, and their mother, Mai. Put has a weak leg, and his mother inquires about his situation at the school. After breakfast, their mother goes to drop Put and Pim at school. While on their way, she gives her kids good news. She has received a promotion, and now she's the head of international sales. To celebrate her success, the family decides to go to a restaurant for dinner. At work, Mai's colleagues also celebrate her promotion. Her boss tells her to work harder than ever as she has a lot of responsibility on her shoulders now. The boss assigns her a couple of tasks and the scene ends there. At school, Pim is practicing with her cheerleading group. Their teacher informs them that the voting for the new captain has begun and everyone can submit their votes to her office. Later, Pim says to her friend Peo that she might not become the captain again as she was last year's captain too. But Peo tells her not to worry as she'll take care of the voting. Later at home, Put is playing video games with his friend Fame. Pim comes home and goes to her room, but Fame follows her. He spies on her while she's changing her clothes, but Pim sees him in the mirror and goes to close the door. Put goes to help his sister, but falls from the stairs due to his weak leg. Meanwhile, Fame blackmails Pim about a secret, but Pim cleverly slams the door on his foot. Fame comes down and asks Put to keep his promise and says that if he breaks it, he'll leak the video clip. Later, Pim calls her mother and asks her to come home, but Mai is busy at work, so Pim and Put eat some noodles and go to sleep. Later at night, Mai starts to leave the office with a friend. On her way home, she gets into an accident and gets seriously injured. At home, Pim hears a loud banging on the door. She opens it, and a man claiming to be their grandfather tells them about their mother's accident. He takes them to the hospital, and the kids are devastated to see their mother in the hospital bed. The doctor said that she's out of danger, but is in a coma due to the concussion. There, the kids meet their grandfather for the first time. The grandfather asks them to stay at their home until their mother comes out of the coma. Pim and Put go with their grandparents and find Mai's photographs in the room. The following morning, they come down and sit with their grandpa for breakfast. Oddly enough, the breakfast is exactly like their mother used to make. Then, the grandpa tells them about this situation with their grandma. She has some issues with her memory, and that's why she even forgot about Put yesterday. So the grandpa wants the kids to take care of her. Now, Pim says she wants to go home and pick up some things, and Put also wants to get his cat. They leave with grandpa and go to meet Mai. There, the doctor reveals that Mai's chances of waking up are only 50%. Everyone is sad to hear the news and leave for their grandpa's home after picking up their stuff. As Put enters the living room, he sees a mysterious hole in the wall. He peeks through it and he sees a ghost of a girl. He tells Pim about it, but she brushes it off, saying that there might be a repair going on in the next house. Later, Pim asks Grandma about their cat, Latte, and she says it's gone outside. Put is shocked to hear this, as Latte is an indoor cat and cannot survive outside. Then, Pim tells Grandpa about the hole in the wall, but Grandpa doesn't see any hole. They call Grandma and she doesn't see the hole either. It looks like only Pim and Put can see the hole. The grandpa gets angry at them for pulling off this prank and sends them to their room. In their room, Put wonders if these people are really their grandparents, but Pim tells him to believe it as they have all the photos and know everything about Mai. The next day, Pim is sad to see that Latte still hasn't returned. Then, all of them sit for breakfast and Grandma gives Put some milk to drink. Put says he doesn't like milk, but the grandma insists it's good for his bones and he'll have to drink it. Later at school, Fame asks Put to arrange a date with Pim because if he doesn't, he'll leak the video. He starts bullying Put, but Pim comes there and saves her brother. Then, Fame comes with Put to his grandpa's house and he's waiting for Pim to come. Suddenly, Put hears a weird scratching noise. He gets up and finds that the noise is coming from the hole. To Put's surprise, Fame cannot see the hole either. Put peeks through the hole again and sees the ghost of a little girl vomiting blood. After some time, Pim comes home, but Put finally reveals that Fame has a clip of her showering in the gym and that Fame has blackmailed Put to let him date Pim. Pim is shocked to hear it. Now, the grandma comes home and starts shouting at them as she doesn't recognize them. Luckily, her memory comes back and she realizes that Pim and Put are her grandkids. Then, suddenly at night, they hear screaming and screeching noises of their grandma. Grandpa asks them to sleep as he'll take care of the grandma. but Put and Pim still come downstairs and they see their grandma beating the ground and making weird noises. The next day at breakfast, Put is slightly sick and Grandma gives him milk to drink. He reluctantly drinks the milk and Pam asks about Grandpa. Grandma says he's gone to meet a friend. Grandpa has come to meet a police officer regarding Mai's case. He was an ex-police officer, so he asks the current officer about the case file. The officer gives him the file and says that the car that hit Mai belongs to a guy named Chayut and his father is a real estate tycoon. However, the grandpa is determined that the driver should be punished no matter what. At home, Pim finds Fame's phone which he accidentally left there, but before she could check, they hear the scratching noises coming from the hole. Pim peeks through the hole and sees the same girl crawling across the floor. Then she sees the little girl vomiting blood on a child. Pim is horrified by the incident and asks Put to stay away from the hole. Also, Pim notices that it's night in the next house, while their house is sunny, and therefore the hole couldn't be real. Then Pim goes through Fame's phone and she's disgusted to find her clip. At night, Put hears the noises again and sees the ghost sitting near Pim. In the morning, he says he's not feeling well and sees blood on his shirt. Pim immediately goes to call Grandma, but she only gives Put milk to drink and says he'll be fine with some rest. Meanwhile, the grandpa is at the hospital and reads the news that Chayut has been released. He decides to take the matter into his own hands and promises that he'll make the spoiled kid pay. Then in school, the teacher reveals that Pim is again selected as the captain of the cheerleading team. Peo is happy for her, but Pim asks her to stop pretending. She says she went through Fame's phone and found out that she was the one that recorded her in the shower. Peo was secretly jealous of her all this time. Meanwhile, the clip gets leaked to the entire school, and the teacher catches Peo red-handed. The teacher takes Peo with her, and the scene ends there. Later that day, Pim peeks through the hole again and sees the little girl crawling while a man peacefully sleeps on the couch. The little girl dies right there, and the man didn't do anything. Suddenly, Put realizes that the room through the hole looks exactly like their room. So, according to him, the hole is a wormhole showing the incidents that happened in this living room. Then, Grandpa comes home and asks them why they're still awake. Put mentions the hole, so Grandpa gets angry and covers the wall with a cupboard. Later, Grandpa prepares his gun and wears his old police uniform, and then leaves his house. Meanwhile, the cupboard somehow falls, so Put and Pim come down. Then, the grandpa finds Chayut on a highway and stops his car in front of him. He drags him out of the car and pours the alcohol he was drinking on him. Then, he throws a lighter on him and leaves him burning. Suddenly, Mai comes out of the coma, and the doctor tries to call Grandpa, but Grandpa is busy killing Chayut. Mai is shocked to hear that her kids are living with their grandpa and insists that she must get her kids out of that home. Meanwhile, Pim and Put have cleaned the mess, but start hearing noises from the hole. The grandma finally reveals that she can see the hole too, and these noises have been haunting her for 14 years. But she never said a word because the grandpa has never seen that hole, and he forced her to take pills for years so she forgets the hole. Pim again takes a look and sees her mother pregnant, looking for someone called Pinya. Pinya was Mai's first daughter, and Grandma now reveals everything. One time, Grandpa, Grandma, and Mai went out and left Pinya with her father, Crit, at home. Crit was an alcoholic, and Pinya was a disfigured kid. Pinya asked Crit to play hide-and-seek with her and hid in the storage room. Crit carelessly fell unconscious due to the alcohol, and when Grandpa found Pinya, she had died by drinking that rat poison in the storage room. Then, Crit snatched the gun from Grandpa and committed suicide. Suddenly, Put coughs out a lot of blood like Pinya. Pim gets worried for her brother and starts to call an ambulance, but Grandma says he'll get better by drinking this warm milk. Suddenly, Mai enters the house and meets her children. She ran away from the hospital and came here to take her kids. She starts to leave with the kids, but the grandpa enters the home with his gun pointed at them. Mai calms him down and asks if Crit really snatched the gun from him that day. Put suddenly starts coughing blood again, and Pim realizes that there might be something wrong with the milk. She says she'll drink the milk, but the grandma stops her and breaks the glass. Turns out she had been mixing rat poison in the milk, as she wanted to kill Put because of his disfigured leg. Mai realizes that Grandma must have poisoned Pinya as well because she was disfigured. Grandma then confesses to her crime and says she did Mai a favor by doing this. Mai now returns home with Put and Pim. Mai apologizes that she never told them about their father, and Pinya loved Pin. That's why she saw her holding a baby. Then Pim says what they know might not be the whole truth. They probably only know a fraction of the truth. Put and Pim then tell Mai everything about the hole. Meanwhile, at the grandparents' house, Grandma goes crazy due to the scratching noise. Before Grandpa could control her, he receives a call from the police officer, who tells him that Chayut was not the driver. The security footage revealed that a friend of Chayut was driving the car. Grandpa cuts the call and goes to control Grandma. Grandma sees Pinya coming out of the storage room and hugging her. Then, Grandpa sees Crit in Grandma's body, asking why he killed him. Grandpa loses control and shoots Grandma. After killing his wife, he puts the gun into his mouth and commits suicide. At the end of the movie, we see the whole truth. When Pinya hid in the storage room, Grandma closed the door from the outside. When they came home and found Pinya dead, Grandpa poured alcohol on Crit, and Mai shot him. Mai killed her husband for killing their daughter. That was it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to Relaxed Recaps for more content like this. If you'd like to continue with more recaps like this, feel free to check out these 2 videos now.